This is Visionary New Earth Leaders podcast, empowering visionary healers, entrepreneurs, and ex-corporates who are ready to actualize their fullest potential through expanding their consciousness and embodied leadership. I'm your host, Gennye Rainbow Anderzon, New Earth business mentor, channel, and master healer, leader of my own business with 20 plus years experience in energy work, mentorship, and coaching. I'm a married mother of two, based outside London in the UK. In Visionary New Earth Leaders, we are going to share about world-leading, cutting-edge tools of energy transformation, intuitive and soul-led business and marketing strategies, and innovative, groundbreaking thought leadership, paving the path into the new earth. So if you're ready to step into leadership, this is the vortex supporting leaders and CEOs into the new earth. Hey, welcome back, friend, to Visionary New Earth Leaders podcast. So today we're talking about shadow work and how it can really help you succeed, actually, in so many different areas of your life, not just your business and your income and impact. We know we want all that, but we want to become fully sort of fledged human beings where we expand into our highest potential and become the true version of who we truly are without the baggage, so to speak. So we are talking about shadow work. So first of all, some of you would know exactly what it is. Some of you listening now would think, I'm not really sure what it is. So I'm just going to explain first what shadow work actually is. And so we get like a great understanding of what it is and why it's going to help us, regardless of where you're in your life right now, whether you are an executive or a CEO, or you work as an entrepreneur, or you work for a company, wherever you are right now, this type of work can really, really help you. So, the shadow of ourselves are basically the parts of ourselves that we may want to hide, parts of ourselves that we feel shameful about, parts of ourselves which we maybe judge. So, kind of the dark side of ourselves, if you want to call it a dark. And to be honest, I don't really know why we call this the dark side, because actually, it's just a part of the human journey and our subconscious mind and how we store experiences in our bodies and our minds. So basically, it means emotions and traumas and suppressed aspects of our being. And we call it a shadow. And this is what Carl Jung also expressed this as. He was, explaining it as I will explain it right now. So the shadow encompasses the unacknowledged and dark aspects of ourselves, which I just said. But that will be things like repressed emotions, fears and desires, and unresolved past experiences. And these shadows then hold a potent energy that can influence our thoughts, behaviors, relationships, and our physical well-being, and also our abundance and income. So to bring harmony and healing this energetic part of ourselves, we then embark on this journey of unlocking our fullest potential. So I want to say, before we go into how it actually works, I just want to say that by doing shadow work, it means that we start to love all parts of ourselves. And when we love all parts of ourselves, it means that we show up unapologetically. Because there is not that little voice in our head saying, oh, well, you can't do that. Or, well, your dad said that you were like that when you were a child. Or your ex-boss or ex-partner had this belief around you and they said you were not good at that. Can you imagine if you're completely free from all the judgments, all the traumas, all the imprints, all the things that have made you feel lesser than you are? Can you imagine at what capacity you will show up as? Right? So this is about us also acknowledging that there's nothing wrong with us. There's nothing wrong with any of us. We've just had different life experiences and we've just had different ways of storing this in our bodies. Some people are more sensitive and they will absorb more. And some people are less sensitive and they will absorb less. Or, for example, somebody who had very little trauma in their childhood, they'd be kind of quite robust human beings, and they're probably less likely to be really affected, all of a sudden by people, because they're already quite robust and they know themselves and they are less wounded in a way. So we are all individuals. We are all unique in our own way. None is better than the other. We all need this kind of support, regardless of where you are in your journey. And what I wanted to say as well about it is that I couldn't really start looking at my own icky bits, my own shadows, the own parts of myself that I didn't like and that I was ashamed of, until I had developed enough self-love. And that's one of the things that I remember one of my mentors taught me, that before you go really deep into someone's shadow, you've got to make sure that you've built their self-love and their self-trust enough so they can actually look at the shadow and go, okay, I can see that part of myself. That's okay. I'm going to heal that now. What could happen, for example, and I've seen this a lot, if people are not experienced space holders, they may go in deep into the shadow before they cultivate enough self-love for the client, or help them cultivate enough self-love. And then it becomes really stressful emotionally, and they can feel really sort of unstable around this whole thing, which is not what we want. So we really want to create a lot of stability and foundation before we do any shadow work. Some people would need a little bit more than others. Some people are great, can just go straight in if they've had maybe some pre-work before. But the idea here is to take the person through the shadow work safely, securely, with love, with holding, with support, and with possibilities of potentiality, right? Because we want to bring out the best in this person. So what happens? So let's just go through actually what it looks like when I would take somebody through the process. So in divine healing, which is what I use, and I also have studied shamanic work and things like that, which helps me also to work with the subconscious a lot. So the first thing is like self-reflection. So when we start working together, people might say, I feel really down about this one specific thing, about this relationship, for example, or about that I'm not manifesting enough income or abundance in my business. And then we start looking at the feelings they have around that, and then dive deeper into the depths of the subconscious. And then we start realizing, for example, if we work with somebody's income, we start realizing that there might be some shame around money or some shame around success somewhere. And it was rooted from a specific event, perhaps, where maybe the mother didn't believe in the girl's success because she wasn't successful herself or something like that. And then that imprint and that belief and that judgment from the mother would then go into the daughter and then limit her own sort of beliefs and capacity to create this. So then the person would feel maybe a little bit shame around this, and then they might feel also a little bit guilty to having to work on this around the mother. And there will be also that they feel, if they really love their mother, they also feel like they don't want to, stain their own parent in a way. So you have so many different components around this where we would have to work so carefully and so gently with this and take the person through this gentle journey. So they would unpick the thing. So unpick what happened, how they're feeling, where it's stored. And then we will actually do the actual healing, the energetic healing, which is where we move the energy wherever that is stored in the body, or, maybe in the heart chakra perhaps, because if you've had something that has hurt you and then created a shame around it, you may store it in your heart chakra. Some people might store it in the solar plexus, but basically we'll go to the place where we can locate it. And I can do this with my clients because A, I just know where it is, I can see it. B, also I'm psychic, I can just work it out, I'm so intuitive, and so I'm like an antenna, to higher consciousness. So we can just do this really easily, and it's really smooth, really powerful. And then we do the integration afterwards. So we then install a new belief or a new energy around the shadow. That's one way of doing it. The other way I would also do it is like we actually do a shamanic journey. So with the shamanic journeys, we can take some power animals with us, etc. Often we have to do a power retrieval before we do any shadow work, because if the person is less, or if the person has sort of lost sense of power, it's almost like if we want to bring all of themselves back into them, we want to make sure there's enough power and enough self-love to hold all of who they are, because this shame part, if it's too heavy and too big, they just might crumble, emotionally. So we bring that in, hold it beautifully. For example, the shamanic work that I do, what's so important is to actually not reject the shadow, to call it names, or to reject it and say, well, I want nothing to do with this dark part of myself. I don't want to look at it. I don't want it. Can you please just remove it? That's not how we do it. We basically embrace it and say, thank you, life, or thank you for this experience. I'm ready to embrace my shadow. I'm ready to be all of who I am. I'm ready to love the parts of me who feels shameful and they don't feel great. And I'm also ready to love all of that transformation that happens, and basically love everything of me. And then when we become so unapologetic about who we are, well, that means that we then take greater steps and make more bolder moves towards our success. So another thing, we're talking about income and impact this episode as well. So that was just kind of a general example of what that would look like. I would love to talk to you a little bit about the fullest potential and prosperity, abundance, really being able to hold that higher levels of wealth in our businesses. And if you didn't know already, we have this masterclass, Skyrocket Your Income to Multiple Six Figures, by uncovering hidden energy blocks. And you can find the link below. We're going to run a second version of it. So you can sign up below. But let's go into this thing. So when it comes to your prosperity, your abundance, your ability to hold vast amounts of wealth, so in the realm of energy and consciousness, shadows can influence these areas as well as about the self-love and as well about relationships, right? So the hidden aspects that we work on when it comes around for abundance and limitless wealth and prosperity, we look at childhood conditioning. So whatever belief your parents had around wealth and success, and how much do you carry over from that? And then we also look at society beliefs. So depending on what country or where you're from, there will also be imprints of where you're from and where you grow up. So I'm Swedish, so I've spoken about this before in another episode, but I would hold specific beliefs around wealth and limitless success or not, being from Scandinavia. The same if you're from Europe or America or South America or wherever you're from, there will be some sort of society beliefs around it as well. And also past experiences and past lives. So you also have past lives where some people actually take poverty vows and say, I would never, want to be rich because it got me into trouble this lifetime, and therefore I will never want to do that again. It could be something like that the person said this in the past life, and that actually limits their success this lifetime. So there's so many different places, but what we would first look at, if I was working with, so for example, in Light Up Your Inner CEO, which is our next Light Body program, which is going to run starting September, we are specifically in this program working with abundance, wealth, limitless expansion in this way, because the entrepreneurs joining are looking, yes, to heal themselves, but also they're looking to expand more financially in their business, which is really exciting for them. So we would then start looking at identify limiting beliefs. So they are just beliefs, basically. that are stored in the subconscious mind. And they will be anything around money doesn't grow on trees, people with money are evil, to be successful is dangerous, or whatever it could be. I could list you hundreds, but that would be something that we would then shift in the subconscious mind and change the belief to a positive belief. When that's done, it's done. So it's like when one belief is done, it's done. It's not going to have to be done again, right? So this is the magic of this energy work, because it will be intact and it will be, it's there. You can create new beliefs that are unsupportive, but you're more likely to just stay, intact when you've had one of these beliefs changed. The next thing would be, we would clear energetic blocks. So, for example, with the light body, we are clearing the different, in the beginning of the sessions, there's 6 light body sessions, but the first few, we are doing removing the Nephilim, which is shadow consciousness, and we are then bringing in the soul consciousness, more of the soul consciousness and soul awareness. And then in the next one after that, we remove the crystals. These are not typical beliefs or anything. They're just etheric blocks. But what happens is that when we remove those etheric blocks, we allow more light to come in, which will, that light itself will then start pushing on any other things in the cells that would be subconscious beliefs, anything other that is limiting, and we'll then start flushing that out and then allow for more receiving and more room to expand with abundance and everything else in life as well. Then the next one after that is clearing the devices, but it kind of goes on like that. And then in the end of the light body sessions, we're basically installing the higher light and activating and calibrating. Anyway, I went off there a bit on the light body work. But the next one is to transform self-sabotage. So often what happens when somebody feels like a failure, let's say we just feel like we're not doing well, or you're being hard on yourself, or this part that is shameful, often what could happen is that the person starts moving towards, something that is positive, and then they decide to withdraw. They lose the momentum. That is a sabotage, and that could often be because of the fear of failing. It could also be fear of success. But it's about acknowledging these parts of ourselves that is actually holding us back, and then clearing them, and then working towards the goals, the financial goals. The next thing is to align with the purpose. So when we do shadow work, we unlock so many hidden parts of ourselves that we are then shining light by integrating and removing the heavy bits. We're then shining light on all the amazing gifts and amazing things that you have inside of you, which means that more of your purpose will resurface, more of your passion for your work, more of your creativity will resurface. Everything will just sort of start bubbling up. And that in itself will help you align then with your purpose. So when you align more with your purpose and more with your passion, you take more risks, you take more bold steps towards what it is that you're really, really desired, really excited to work towards. The next thing is cultivating confidence. So as we work through the shadow, your self-confidence and self-esteem naturally improve because you're connecting with all the great parts of yourself and removing the ones that were stopping you before. You just feel better. You just feel more self-loving, you just feel more self-confident, self-aware, self-trusting. And that in itself will start improve your interactions with clients, partners, investors, making you more of a magnetic and credible presence in the business world as well. Because everything is energy. So if you act from a space of feeling fully aligned, self-trusting, self-loving, radiant in so many ways, you will naturally attract opportunities because you are the energy of what you want to attract, right? You will start attracting abundance for sure. I've had several clients who were doing okay with money and income. And after doing the light body work and going through the processes and the shadow work and unlocking them, they just just brilliant. They just show up in such radiance and such confidence and sign clients with ease. It's like, yeah, they're just so confident. They don't overthink anything. They just go out there, do the reels, do the, newsletters, do the masterclasses, collaborate, network with people without a second thought, which then makes them so easy to sign up with because they're so confident and they make more money. It's like it's been incredible, the results that we've had lately with some of the clients. So the next thing is decision-making and clarity. So as soon as your shadow, so like all the shadows, it's like, shedding, you're going deeper into your true self, you enhance your intuition as well and your inner wisdom, because don't forget as well, these heavy sort of shameful bits make you feel quite heavy and sad and don't have very great thoughts about yourself. And that means then as well that you're dimming your intuition and you're dimming your wisdom. And as soon as these layers are gone, you feel so good, like you're intuitive, you connect with your intuition, you feel so good about it. You feel excited about what your channel. There's one of my clients, she started channel a couple of new programs, like with such clarity and such confidence. It was incredible. And this really helps the entrepreneur to make a clear and informed decisions, because as soon as you have this intuitive piece locked in and you feel so sure about who you are, what you want to achieve, all the things, it just means that you make decisions quicker and you move like quite swiftly, right? And you are not then also making decisions so much from an ego-driven perspective. You make them from this higher place of, wow, I want to help the world. Yes, and I also want to make money. I want to make sales. This is another thing, actually, what I noticed with myself. I became unapologetic about selling because I'm so connected to my purpose and to the things that I help with my clients with, and I love it so much. It would be a shame not to tell them how great it is and sell it, right? It would be like I'm robbing the world of magic. Why would I do that? So, I'm so happy to sell about all my programs. I love it because I know what magic it gives to people. So for me to stop talking about it would be nuts, and this is another thing, that confidence and that connection to your offers becomes so strong that you don't want to stop talking about them, right? And this is where we want to be. The next thing is resiliency and adaptability. Because when we do the shadow work and we dive really deep, because we then start really loving all parts of ourselves and we feel really good about who we are on a deep, deep level, it just means that we feel, let's say somebody says something trolling you online, you'd be less sensitive to it because you're like, well, okay, that's their opinion. It's got nothing to do with me. I know how good I am at things I do, and that doesn't bother me anymore. So that could be actually a gradual process, because I had times when I got quite affected by people online, and I don't anymore. I just think, well, I just stay in my lane, get on, do my love for my work, spread it to the world because there's so much magic to be received. And that's where I'm at. And, that's where we should all be. And this the way we should show up. Because if we all showed up from that energy, oh my gosh, it would be so powerful and so amazing for everyone. So with that, I wanted to also mention to you that obviously you can sign up for Skyrocket Your Income to multiple six figures, but also I would love for you to consider to check out the Light Up Your Inner CEO program. Now, we start this at the end of September. There is an early bird available for it until the 31st of August. So you can check it all out on the landing page, which is below. So Light Up Your Inner CEO. I want to talk to you about this program because I've also just recently changed the sort of, not direction, but a little bit the outcome for this program. So over the last year, I've been working with lots of entrepreneurs, and we've created some amazing results in their businesses, financially, also personally in their life. They have really, really felt more fulfilled, deeply connected with their children and their family, strong intuition, just so grounded and embodied. So this made me then feel like, yes, I really want to continue helping. It really excites me to help other entrepreneurs to unlock their income and impact potential. So that's really the aim of the Light Up Your Inner CEO program that we're going to work on. So this is exactly what's going to happen. This program is something that is evolving, and it still has the 12 energy sessions, which you can read on it on the landing page. 6 of those are the specific light body work, and they are set in itself. It's like the same for everyone, if that makes sense. We're going through the process in exactly the same way, everyone. The other 6 sessions, which are energy sessions, are going to be focused on unlocking wealth, abundance, income, impact, and really do a lot of shadow work, of course, diving into all those, hidden places to really unlock your income. That's what I've decided. Also, what I just decided yesterday, because I spoke to one of my clients who's signing up for this program, and we kind of decided together that this program also are going to have a monthly sort of mastermind session where I will be masterminding with my clients from a intuitive business perspective. So they will have questions, obviously, maybe around their business and strategy, although I don't call myself a business strategist, but I love strategy. So we are going to dive into these really deep conversations about strategies that work really well in the industry at the moment, coming from an intuitive and psychic perspective, because I can always feel trends before they come. And I will be sharing these trends with my clients. So, and I always tap into the collective. So it's going to be fire. This program is just going to be fire. So I'm inviting you to join us. The close date, well, it will probably be a few days before we start the program, but we start the very first energy session at the end of September. And we have a welcome meeting on the 12th of September. But that's more like a welcome where we just dive in and introduce ourselves, etc., etc. So the actual energy work starts at the end of September. The early bird for this program ends on the 31st of August. So if you're hearing this before the 31st of August and you want to join us, I recommend that you reach out to me and we have a call and we have a chat about this, because I am so lit up about this program. So yes, so we're going to do a lot of deep shadow work in there. Okay, my friends, thank you so much for listening in. I really hope that this was enlightening for you and that you learned something that, was, maybe new or insightful for you. I'm really here to help you and support you throughout your entrepreneurial and leadership journey. I see you soon, and you have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you for listening to Gennye Lyon's Visionary New Earth Leaders podcast. If you're ready to rewire your subconscious mind, clear your programming and collective conditioning, transform your trauma into trust, and step into your soul's calling and true leadership, or if you're ready to unlock your fullest potential through activating your light body and expand your consciousness exponentially, detangle and clear your past life karma and Akashic records, and setting up for success, launch your online spiritual business, and so much more, then go to gennylyon.love. And if you're receiving value from the show, I would love if you would share it with a friend and give it a 5-star review. Also, you can join me in one of my live free trainings, and you can find it right on the website, as well as in the link in my bio across all social media. I am Gennye Lion across all platforms. I wish you a blessed day, and may you live your most authentic self.